Chapter 2, the Montgomery GI Bill, the Army College Fund, and the Conversion. Section 1, Montgomery GI Bill, the authority of Public Law 98-525, established by the Montgomery Bill, Montgomery GI Bill, the 38 U.S. Standard Code, Chapter 30 provides guidance for the UNS program. Chapter 2, the objective is to help readjust, restore lost educational opportunities for individuals who serve the active duty and interrupted by the civilian careers, to promote all volunteer forces programs and total force idea. Eligibility for soldiers entered in the active duty for the first time after the 30th of June 1985, and entered the active duty at the first time in the active guard reserve after the 30th of June 1985. Served at three or more years continuous active duty. The initial obligated period was 3 or more. Served in 2 or more years continuous active duties until obligated period of the service was less than 3 years, and served 2 years in continuous active duty plus 4 years of selective reserves. Possess high school diploma equivalent certificate, and before completing the qualifying of the terms of services, that is either 2 year for the 2 year enlistment or 3 years for the 3 or more enlistment, the individual may meet requirements successfully completing the equivalent of a 12 semester hours in education program leading to the standard college degree before the individual initially obtain obligated period of the active duty. Completed with the qualifying the term enlistment at the completion of the qualifying term of the enlistment, the soldier separates from active duty with an honorable discharge at continuous active duty. Explanation: completing the first qualifying enlistments in the following: the soldier has been discharged, released to the active duty and service-connected disability medical condition with a prescribed pre-existing AD or hardship. The soldier has been discharged, released to the convenience of the government, and the following is called for the 20-30 month rule applies to the COG. Conveniency of the government. The soldier who initially obligation is less than 3 months, the soldier who initially obligates less than 3 years must complete with at least 20 months of the continuous activity duty. The soldier in the initial active duty is 3 or more years must complete at least 30 months of continuous active duty. The soldier who is separated involuntarily the convenience of the government because of the reduction in the force directed by the Secretary of the Army have no minimum service requirements, may be earned prorated benefits. The soldier who meet the 20-30 month rule will qualify for the 36 month of benefits. However, the soldier involuntarily separated by the RIF action which lessens the 20 to 30 months of the continuous active duty will earn 1 month of the benefits for every month they serve. Soldiers who do not complete the qualifying term and enlistments who do not qualify the exemption of the paragraph 2(3)(b) and above that do not have educational benefits will receive the refund of about $1,200 reduction in pay. Besides the mandatory separation counseling procedures outlined in the AR 621-5, Chapter 2 to Chapter 1 of this regulation, soldiers request that voluntary discharges must be provided documentation of the receipt of the counseling acknowledgement and other understanding regarding the status of their MGI bill. The Montgomery GI Bill benefits the soldier requesting the convenience of the government discharge under the AR 635-200 paragraphs 5.3, 5.6, 5.7, and 5.12, and in Chapter 8 and paragraph 16.2 must be counseled regarding in the time served requirement of the Table 2 other types of the separations. Table 1 is the time service requirements for separation actions for the writing from right to left. This reason for separation category loss and regulatory reference no minimum of squared 20 to 30 and 24 to 36 quartered. Comments. Physical disability service connected by the AR 635-40 continuous objection expires term services of the ETS AR 643 paragraph 3.1 resignation instead of elimination of the convenience of the government. The AR 635 of the 120 paragraph 4 to AR 620-35 100 Chapter 5. It also marks as a 20 to 30 cubed as in the tripled. If the chart of the discharge is other than the honorable discharge, no entitlements. Disability prior to the active duty, the convenience of the government, the AR 635-200, with the paragraph 5.11, the AR 635-120, paragraph 14.11, the no minimum routed May regulation must be identified by the 6 months. The ETS, the expiration term of service, the category loss, termination of the expiration of termination spirit, service. AR 635-200 paragraph 4.2. Also stands for a 24-36 month completion of the initial qualifying terms of the service of honorable discharge. The service authority of the convenience of the government. AR 3635-200, the paragraph 5.3, and a 20 to 30 if the character is discharged generally under the under honorable conditions, no entitlements. Surviving son or daughter, the convenience of parenthood, the convenience of guidance, the AR 635-200, paragraph 555-4, the AR 635-200, paragraph 58, and a 24 to 36 month. The charter is discharged as general under honorable conditions, no entitlements. The AR lack of jurisdiction, Category 8, the AR 635-200, 59, 2436, no Department of Defense Form 214 is issued. Aliens not lawfully admitted, AR 635-200, paragraph 510, if the 2040-36 term of service, if the charter is discharged, general under the honorable conditions, no entitlements. Failure to meet entrance of the medical standards of the convenience of the government, AR 635-200, paragraph 511, the 2030, if the charter of the discharge general under the honorable conditions, no entitlement. The failure to medically qualify for the flight training, the convenience of the guidance, AR 635-200, paragraph 512, if the 2030, if the charter of the general is under honorable conditions, no entitlements. The personality disorder, convenience of the government, AR 635-200, paragraph 513, 2038 months. Concealment of the arrest record, the exclusion of the term of service, the AR 635-200, paragraph 514, and 24 to 36 months in share to the discharge general under the honorable discharge, no entitlements. Failure to meet the weight of the standards as the exclusion of training services, exclusion term of service, AR 635-200, paragraph 515, 24-36 time of service. Release attendant education facility, the convenience of government service, AR 635 200, paragraph 517, the 20 to 30 month in time of service, if charter is discharged, general under honorable conditions, no entitlements. Hardship and dependency, conveniency of the government, AR 635 200, the paragraph, X is amounted 6, allotted no minimum. Underage, 24 to 36 voided military service. In their heiress entry, AR 635 20, paragraph 715, 20 to 30. Heiress entry 635 20, 715, 20 to 30. Defective unfilled enlistment, AR 635 200, paragraph 716, 20 to 30. Fraudulent entry 635 20. Paragraph 717, if the character is discharged generally under honorable conditions, no entitlements. Pregnancy, convenience of the government, AR 635-20, Chapter 8, 20 to 30, if the character is general under the honorable conditions, no entitlements. Drug, alcohol, rehab, failure, entry, exclusion to term of services, AR 635-200, Chapter 9, 26 to 30, 24 to 36. It chartered the discharge general under honorable conditions, no entitlements. Separation instead of court of martial law, exclusion training service, AR 635-200, Chapter 10, 2436. In the charter of the general under the honorable conditions, no entitlements. Separation instead of the court martial exclusion term of service, AR 3635-200, Chapter 10. 24 to 36, if the charter is discharge of his oath of no entitlements. Entry-level performance, exclusion to term of service, AR 635-200, Chapter 11, 24 to 36. So, 24 to 36. Unsatisfactory performance, exclusion term of service, AR 635 200, Chapter 13, 24 to 36, charter is general under the honorable conditions, no entitlements. Misconduct, all types, exclusion term, time of service, AR 635 200, Chapter 4, Chapter 14, 24 to 36, charter the discharge general under the honorable conditions, under oath conditions, no entitlements. Continuing, and I guess this chart goes on and on. Returning to soldiers requesting volunteer separation of the AR 3635 200 paragraph 1615 almost received the counseling regarding the status of the Montgomery GI Bill benefits type of the discharge not classified in the conveniency of the guidance that therefore the conveniency of the government. Therefore, the eligible receiver of the benefits of the soldier must completely serve 24 months over the last 3 year toward at least 36 months of the 3 year or longer term. The provision of the law of grant full entitlement once the individual has served 36 months. Therefore, the 4-year enlistee earns the Montgomery GI Bill after the 36 months of continuous active duty. In either the case, the ESO provides the educational service officer that provides counseling to the soldier within less than the time and served requirement, informs the soldier of the loss of education, informs the soldier of the loss of educational benefits, and notes the DA Form 669 with one of the following statements. I have been counseled the veteran's educational benefits in connection with the request of the voluntary separation. I understand I am forfeiting all educational entitlements under the Chapter 30, Title 38 U.S. Standard Code. I am not eligible to receive the refund of the money reduced from my base pay. The soldier who enlisted the ACF has time to serve and time and service requirements, but not listed in the entire ACF. The statement should read, I have been counseled on the veteran's educational benefits in connection with the request of the voluntary separation. I understand that I have not earned my entire Army College fund. Requires the soldier to sign a counseling and entry acknowledging mandatory counseling. The soldier is provided with a copy of the portion of the DA Form 669 continuing counsel entry that it can be included in the separation request, which is a statement of the separation approval authority would not take the final action request. Voluntary separations of the soldier who do not meet the time and service requirements. 624 eligibility exclusion commission officers not eligible for the Montgomery GI Bill if they receive the commission armed forces up on graduation in U.S. Army, Military, Naval, Air Force, or Coast Guard Academy at December 31st, 1960, after December 31st, 1976, and completed with the program educational assistance of the Title 10 U.S. Standard Code 2107 Reserve Officer Training Corps of the scholarship prior to the service who are the RA active duty reserve affairs RA-80s are not eligible for the Montgomery GI Bill. The length of service is not important. The fact of the determination are the service soldiers who are enlisted. The reserve components who are on AD for the training are only eligible to enroll in the MGI Bill. 2.5 duration of eligibility. Usually eligibility extends 10 years from the date of late of the discharge release from the active duty. 10 years, usually eligibility extends for the 10 years for the date of the last discharge or release from the active duty. For the individual to break in the service of the 1st January 1979 to the 19th of October 1984, the 10-year period in which the use of benefits will reduce the length of the time the soldier was not on active duty between January 1st, 1977 and October 19th, 1984. Extensions of eligibility. Veteran soldiers may receive the extension of the eligibility period of physical mental disability. Prevents the veterans of the soldier initiating completing the chosen the program of the education disability cannot result with the willful misconduct. Extension of the granted length of the disability prevented with the veteran initiating the completion of the program. Applications may appeal to the nearest Department of Veterans Affairs regional office or for extensions. Processing of Montgomery Bill for GI Bill eligibilities. Processing may take place in the MAPS reception battalions training base at the 1st Permanent Duty Stations. All eligible soldiers automatically enrolled in the Montgomery GI Bill unless the chosen are automatically enrolled in the Montgomery GI Bill unless they are chosen to disenroll. The decision must be made within 72 hours upon the entry of the active duty. The Department of Defense Form of 2366 will be used for the purpose and will stock the MPES's reception battalions and training base at the 1st Permanent Duty Station. The U.S. Army Recruiting Education Command ensures the Department of Defense 1966 record of military processing Army forces using United Services according to the AR 601-210 initiates the Department of Defense 2366 5 copies of completing items 1, 2, and for all the soldiers. Forward to the Department of Defense 2366 reception battalions in the accession of the packet. The Department of the Trade Act reception battalions in the OBC provided the Montgomery GI Bill as a standard briefing of the Montgomery GI Bill are eligibles, except for the award of the Loan Repayment Act of the Army College Fund. Army guidance counselors will complete the enrollment disenrollment of the soldiers of the MEPS. Complete the DoD Form 2366 files of the Item 3, the remaining enrolled in the Montgomery GI Bill, the Item 4 deciding the disenrolled for the Montgomery GI Bill, and Item 4 enrolled in the Loan Repayment Army College Fund. See Chapter 5 in the Loan Repayment Guidance of the Section 2, Chapter 4, Chapter for Army College Fund Guidelines. The chaplain and the Army Human Resource Command provide the Montgomery GI Bill standard briefing of the Montgomery GI Bill eligibles except for the loan of the loan repayment, and the Army College Fund. Army guidance counselors will complete the enrollment disenrollment action at the soldiers of the MEPS. Complete the DoD Form 2236 as follows. The Item 3, the remaining enrolled in the Montgomery GI Bill items of the deciding disenrollment in the Montgomery GI Bill. Item 4, I have enrolled in the Loan Repayment Army College Fund. See Chapter 5, Loan Repayment Guidance, to Section 2, Chapter of the Army College Fund Guidelines. The Department of the DFAS automatically reduces the $100 basic pay for the first full 12 months of the eligible activity soldiers unless individual chose to disenroll indicated the Department of Defense Form 2366 Montgomery GI Bill is irrevocable and monthly reductions are non-refundable. The DAFS will input the top GI Bill only when the soldier declined from benefits at the entry to completion of the Item 4 of the Department of Defense 2366 and administrative has occurred. Caused the ARIS reduction of the DFAS will refund the ARIS collections only when administrative errors have occurred. All others exemptions to policies will be granted to the Human Resources, the TAPC, PDEI, or the Department Chief of Staff, Garrison 1, or the DAPE, MMPA. Installation command of the first permanent duty station soldiers will have initially processed the MF's reception battalion, for example, who have completed the basic training advanced initiative. Advanced in individual training, reserve status and process of the active duty first permanent duty stations, duty and processing commanders in identifying the soldiers. Not yet military GI Bill process. Complete items 1 and 2 the Department of Defense 2366. Complete items 3 and 4 depending on the soldier's decision to remain enrolled or disenroll. The process is solely for the soldier who did not can process for the normal channels. This is not method of disenrollment. Once the soldier has enrolled, the following personal distributes the Department of Defense Form 2366 reception battalions, TRADOC, permanent duty station, command of disruption is files the official military file enlisted records and valuation center of the enlisted records for the other records of the human resource officer branches for local financial offices, local financing offices, soldiers 2 copies, 1 of the soldier, 1 of the inclusion of the DA Form 669, soldiers hand carry 1 copy to the Army Education Center at the first permanent duty station. Recruiting Battalion 2-8, the basic benefits payable for the VA approved educational purposes on the full-time equivalent part-time basis. The maximum number of the months benefits 36 and the maximum amount of $10,800. Table 2.2 and 2.3 reflect on the benefits of these tables as references. 2.2 time and service basic benefits for full-time training 2 years. The active amount 2 years. The $250 number of months, $360. 2 years plus 4 years selected service, $300 is the number of the months, 36 months. 3 or more years, $300 at 36 months. Based on the educational assistance of the combined service active component of the selective reserve, short title MGI Bill 2x4 program completes the details covered in the AR 135-7 Chapter 9. Table 3, the basic monthly payments of the apprenticeship on the job program, the first 6 months of $187, first 6 months of $187 and a half, to $137.50. For second 6 months and second year, $87.50. All others at $225 first 6 months, $165 second months, and $105 second year. All individuals must formally enroll in the full-time 40-hour day per week to receive the benefits. 2.9, the Veterans Benefits Programs Improvement Act of 1988, the Public Law 10689. The law made that following the addition changes to the Montgomery bills, individuals' death benefits as certain of the survivors of the military government bill, soldiers who die while on the active duty, effective July 1st, 1985. Beneficiaries must contact the local VAR Veterans Affairs Resource Office for the details. Entitlements, military government and bill, soldiers separates the pre-existing medical condition does not make for the length of the service requirements effective for the 1st July 1985. Educational bills will be provided at a rate of 1 month for each of the month of the continuous activities enlistment determined the defective of the considered initial period of the active duty enlistment of the Montgomery GI Bill, who separates the voluntary convenience of the government because of the RIF determined by the Secretary of the Army does not seem meet the time of service requirements effective for the October 1st, 1987 education benefits provided at the rate of 1 month for each of the month of the continuous active duty. The payment of the refresher deficiency course is effective date of 15th August 1989. A payment of tutorial assistance benefits of the $1,200 may be paid effective to the date of 18th November 1988. Payment of the cooperative training effective January 1st, 1989. Provisions extension for the 10-year title enlistment of the benefits of the case of the chronic alcoholism law of the rule. Chronic alcoholism does not constitute willful misconduct. 210, in service use of eligibility, soldiers must complete a 24 months of continuous activity duty before becoming eligible to receive benefits under the Montgomery GI Bill or the Army College Fund if eligible. The 211 application of the benefits application goes to the Army Educational Center for the Counseling, completes the VA Form 2020 1990, obtaining commander's signatures, go to the Army Education Counselor ESO signature, forward the form to the Veterans Affairs Resource Office listed below, the Eastern Region VARO, P.O. Box 4616, Buffalo, New York 14240 04616, Southern Region Veterans Affairs Resource Office, P.O. Box 54346, Atlanta, Georgia 30308 0346, Central Region, the Veterans Affairs Resource Office, P.O. Box 66830, St. Louis, Missouri 631666830. 830. Western the VAR PO Box 8888, Muskie, Oklahoma 6744088888. Note, veterans with the VA Form 22/1990 provided the DA forms from the 2214 certificate of release of the discharge of the active duty of the apply for the Veterans Affairs Resource Office. Section 2, the Army College Fund. The Title 38, U.S. Standard Code, Chapter 30, establishes the guideline for the Army College Fund must be used in conjunction with the Montgomery GI Bill. 213 objections to aid the recruitment of the highly qualified soldiers to increase the test categories of 1 through 3 and A accessions entry-level skills. 214, eligibility. Soldiers must meet the eligibility for the requirements of the MGI Bill after having the Army College Fund, including the enlistment contract, remaining enrolled in the Montgomery GI Bill, having the Armed Force qualifications score of 50 or above, qualifying the high school diploma, graduating before the AR 601-210, performing before entry of the active duty. There were 3 ways to enlistment of the high school diploma. Graduate individuals have intended completed a 12-year grade day school. The classroom instruction diploma must be issued for the school when individual completed with the program requirements. The intended completed with the adult education external diploma program. The diploma must have issued as a result of attendance not issued solely on the basis of the test. Attending the college or university successfully completed as less of the 15 semester hours of 22 quarter hours of the college level work attended for the post-secondary institution completed at 675 clock hours of the vocational program. Although the individual qualifies for a high school diploma graduate for the enlistment, the soldier must complete the requirements of the secondary school diploma equivalency before the completion of the initial obligated active duty to be eligible for the Montgomery GI Bill. The enlistment of the critical military occupational specialists have been designated by the Army Center of the Army College Fund program. They refer to the Department of Chief of Staff, the G1 message of the military operational specialists. 215 of the eligibility of the Army College Fund available for the 2, 3, 4 more years enlistment accrued for the monthly rate of the until the soldier has earned the maximum benefit. Soldier must remain qualified in the military operations specialist for which they enlisted. Not available to the officers. 216 of the maximum monthly benefits of the MGI Bill of the Army College Fund with a maximum value of $25,200. Set the tables at 2 and 4, 2, 4, and 5. These service obligations for 2 years at $330 and a maximum award of $8,000. 2 years, an associate's degree $500 and $12,000 for maximum award. 3 years at $333 a month, or a maximum award of $12,000. The 4-year or more $300 monthly occur, and at a maximum award of $14,400. The 2.5 maximum benefits amount, Montgomery GI Bill Army accumulated fund. 2 years of $472.22, $17,000 award. 2 years of associated degree $5,833, $583 at $21,000. 3 years at $633 at $22,800 maximum award. 4 or more years at $700 monthly full-time benefit of the total of the maximum award at $25,200. The 217 expiration of benefits generally eligibility extends for the 10 years from the date of the last day of the discharge of release of the active duty. 218 the Army College Fund eligibility exclusion. Eligibility of the Army for the Army College Fund will be relinquished when the soldier does not satisfy the active duty requirement of the Montgomery GI Bill, fails to qualify the military occupational specialist enlisted for the carried out of the Army College Fund of the enlistment educational incentive option. The fails remain to qualify the military occupational specialist is requested to receive the military occupational specialist. Note the headquarters department of the Army directly the military operational specialist request classification does not qualify the soldier for the Army College Fund, except in the warrant of the officer appointment of the commission during the first enlistment. The 219 processing Army College Fund eligibilities for the specific enlistment procedures referring to the AR 601-210 of the U.S. Army Reserve Education Center ensures the accuracy of the Department of Defense 1966-1 and recorded the military processing Army Force of the United States. The AR 601-210 places the following statement: the Department of Defense 1966/4, page 4, DA Form 1996, item 39. I repeat, 39. I understand that I am enlisting the Army College Fund, therefore I must remain enrolled in the Montgomery GI Bill. Completing the item 3 on the Department of Defense Form 2366 and notes of item 5, Department of Defense Form 2366 with the following statement: I understand I am listing in the Army College Fund, therefore I must remain enrolled in the Montgomery GI Bill. Should I the DA Form 32866, 32866. The soldier has selected the Army College Fund as an option forward to complies with both of the forms, the session of the packet of the reception battalion, the Triac Army Human Resource Health Services, and the chaplain. Exclude Army College Fund eligible. Those required to remain enrolled in the Montgomery GI Bill qualify the Army College Fund for the Military Army GI Bill standardized briefing distributed to the Department of Defense 2366 per paragraph 275F. Section 3 conversion of Chapter 4 Vietnam era of the GI Bill eligible to Montgomery GI Bill 220 the authority, repeat 220 the authority, the guidelines of veteran educational assistance of veteran ERI GI Bill the 38 U.S. Standard Code Chapter 34, the Public Law 98525, authorized conversion of the veteran veteran era GI Bill, the Montgomery GI Bill, that entitles the individual benefits of the Title 38 U.S. Standard Code Chapter 30, the Title 20 enlistments, Chapter 34, and eligibles. Chapter 34. I repeat, Chapter 34 eligibles may receive the basic benefit under the Montgomery GI Bill, plus they have half their monthly Chapter 34 bill benefit would they been the 31st of December 1989. The benefits become available from the January 1st, 1990. The payable 36-month number of the months remaining of the Chapter 34 benefits of the Title 30 December 31st, 1989, whichever is less, the maximum number of the benefit months of the combined total benefits cannot exceed 48. See the table 26. Table 222 eligible original entitlement. The available veteran soldier who has served the active duty for the more than 180 contingency day. Any part of the active duty have occurred after the January 31st, 1955, before the January 1977. In addition, veteran soldiers must have been released under the conditions released under the conditions other than dishonorable discharge, continued active duty discharge under the honorable discharge within less than 181 continuous days of active duty due to the service of connected disability. And here it shows the A, B, and C, and D, and E. Um, A is 0 through 39, 45, in a descending order to 6. C 36. I don't know. These are the months. A is the number of the chapter. Number of the chapter 34 monthly of December 31st. Number 30. Soldiers and veterans who entered the active duty under the delayed entry program must have entered such an agreement with before January 1st, 1977, been assigned the reserve component at the time begun serving the A active duty on the before the 2nd of January 1978. The required 181 continuous days of the active duty does not include any of the period of the individual who is assigned to the full-time student by the armed force of the civilian institution served as a cadet at a service academy and active duty to training the member of this reserve component. 223. Soldiers are eligible for the conversion if they had no break in service since October 1984 during the mandatory preparation counseling recommendations. Soldiers eligible for the conversion program that will need documentation verifying the no break in the service during this time. The reality that is not easily done when they are applying for the benefits. We have Veteran Affairs recommendation. The veterans provided the copy of the microfiche will reflect the personal actions during the active duty. The veterans which use the Veteran Affair within 6 months of discharge, they should have copied the microfiche before the actual release of the active duty because of the permanent records will reside at the National Record Center the appropriate 6 months. Therefore, to receive the payments delayed for the Veteran Affair request permanent records of the National Record Center to verify in the service whether Chapter 34 eligible of the act as 31st December 1989 and after June 1985 has served at least 3 years of the continuous active duty, served the 2 years active duty or 4 years in selected service after 30th of June 1985. After the 30th of June in 1985, separated the active duty service and connected disability for the medical condition with the previous script existed for the hour hardship. After the completing of the 30 months after the 30 June 1985, separated on the conveniency of the government. After the 20 months of the service of the 30th 1985, the separated the convenience of the government to serve the 4 years in the selected service. After the length of the service after 30th 1985, the separated involuntary RIF directed Secretary of the Army as be eligible for the soldier having been discharged with an honorable discharge be continued with the active duty, completed the requirements of the high school diploma equivalency certificate before 31st 1989, or completed 12 hours semester for the program leading to the standard college degree. Soldiers who are after December 31st, 1976 receive the commission as the officer service academies, reserve officers training, reserve training corps, scholarship program, not eligible for the conversion program. Chapter 224, the conversion benefits for information. The conversion benefits, see tables 2-7. Full time goes over the time the dependents 1, 2 dependents are. And each dependent is $16, I guess, extra or some shit. Each additional. 225 expiration date. Expiration benefits usually entry expires 10 years before after the discharge release of the active duty before paragraph 25 exemptions. 226 application benefits going to the Army Educational Council for the counseling, including the VA Form 22 1990 and obtaining the 6-year ESO, commanding the VA Form 22 1990, forwarding the application to the nearest VA Veterans Affairs Resource Office. Note the veterans need the Department of Defense Form 214 instead of the commander of the ESO signature. Chapter 3, Loan Repayment Program.